Have you ever felt like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? Oof. As mums, that feeling can be all so familiar. Today's conversation is about what if there's another way to tap into your inner strength and navigate all the chaos of motherhood with confidence. My guest today is Rosie Rose. She's a breathwork practitioner based in the States, and she's going to be here talking to us about how she supports her clients to guide the journey of motherhood with ease and grace and calmness. Rosie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to have another rich conversation with you.
Nice. Same here.
Okay, great. So, if people are seeing you for the first time, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Rose Kun. I am from a small town in Northern California called Eureka. I am a mother of two teenage girls. So I'm in my phase of motherhood in the teenage years. And I help people do I help guide people through somatic breath work so they can release or um, release, like, if you're stressed out or have anxiety or dealing with something that's like very like deep down that you cannot figure out what it is, and you feel a little bit of like uneasiness. I'm there to guide you to release whatever it is that's within, so you can have a calm and peaceful and just overall feeling well within yourself.
Hmm. What an important work you're doing, Rosie. What an important you're doing this work, and I feel quite lucky as a mum that first of all we belong to this version of motherhood in this generation where we can ask for help and there is something that is helpful. Because in my mum's time, particularly from my culture, and I'm sure it's very similar in your culture, first of all, it's even taboo to talk about struggling as a mum or even admitting that the journey of motherhood is a bumpy ride and it can be difficult. So nice that you can be a support and a pillar for those who are going through challenges. So, Rosie, I also heard you say that you're a mother of teenagers. How's that going?
Um, so far, so good. I mean, it's learning to accept where they are at. And I would just remember, I had to bring myself back to remember when you were a teenager, like
Mm.
um, my daughter, one of them is 17, and they are going to experiment with alcohol. And she came home and told me, she's like, I threw up last night. I'm like, she's like, a piece of banana peppers came out, because when she woke up in the morning, she walked and she's seen that. But it's just, to me, it's like, you know, having those conversations with our kids about alcohol, like they are going to experiment it with telling you or without telling you, no matter
Mm.
what, it's going to happen. But for me as a mom is to give her a safe space where you to hear her story is very inviting, because she's opening up to a part of her that I remember, because it just brought me back to when I was younger. I didn't tell my parents that I was drinking, none of that, but she was open enough to let me know. So,
Mm.
but just, giving her the guidance and a safe place that whatever it is, she can call us, like, I don't care. The cops pull you over, call us. You need a
Yeah.
ride, call us. Just giving her the the to let her know that we are here for you, whatever it is,
Mm.
but also to be safe, like, and also remind her that why me and your dad don't drink anymore.
Yes, and what could happen? Oh, I love this generation of mothers and children who are closer in mindset and heart set, just because the adults are willing to show their vulnerability and make the children understand that, listen, I've been you once before. I was also a teenager. The difference is we didn't tell our parents what we were getting up to.
No, we did not
We'll
tell her.
hide the hangover. And even though they knew, they also pretended they haven't seen that we're drunk and all that. But whereas in today's world, we can come home and talk to each other about how rough the hangover is. So then, Rosie, tell us, what were you like as a teenager?
Oh man, I don't know. I was a rebel.
Yeah?
I was a
In what
rebel.
way? Where did your rebelliousness come out?
Well, I was a rebel as in like uh I was daring. Like I wasn't afraid of things. And I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. Like I was a daredevil. Just say that. I'm still a little bit of daredevil.
I was gonna say there's not much difference now then, Rosie, because you've just grown a bit more years, but you're still very much a daredevil. And with that daredevil personality that you have, which one of your daughters have got that trait in them,
Um,
if any of them?
I could see my oldest daughter, for her, definitely. She is very confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with the confidence, it comes from us parents being a role model for them,
Hmm.
and I think holding a space for your kids to express what they have to say without pushing them down,
Hmm.
even though there's things that they think is right. And to you is like, no, I don't think that's right, but just to let her express how she feels instead of saying, no, 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 you're wrong. You're wrong. That's not it is. That's not what it is. It's to just step back and just let her express herself however she likes. Because in that learning experience of her letting your kids express them however they like, whatever it is that they still need to learn, they need to learn it for themselves. I mean, I can tell her, this is my experience, but for her to really embody and know how it is, she's going to have to learn those lessons for her to evolve for herself.
That's so true. As parents, we can only wish to be a support network for our children.
Yes.
A place for them to feel safe, like you're talking about, come and seek advice, counsel. By the end of the day, our job is to empower them to make decisions and choices based on having the right information for themselves. And I heard you say that your daughter is confident now. So, and the confidence is because you've been modeling it for her. So then, Rosie, what is your definition of confidence? And what does modeling it for your daughter look like?
Ooh, that is a very great question. Um, I'm going to ask you to help me out. Can you give me your definition of what is it for you to be confident for yourself and also to show your kids to be confident?
I think the first place is being at home in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I celebrate everything about myself, the good side, the bad side. I can laugh at me. I can praise myself. We can joke about things. I don't pretend to be perfect. I can make mistakes. I have the confidence to know that I can make mistakes. I can try new things. I can do scary things. I can do mundane things and just show my children that I have the confidence to fail at something and keep trying it and keep going. I think confidence that I'm modeling for my daughter is that I'm worthy, because you can't truly embody confidence without having a self-worth to match it, so that I'm worthy. And my worthiness isn't about my accomplishments, what I've achieved in school academically or career or anything that I'm doing. I'm worthy just because I am. I exist. I'm a child of God. I'm a human being. I'm worthy just for these things. So I'm modeling that for them. But most of all, it is about putting a lot of beliefs behind my skills and talents and allowing that to navigate me in everything that I do, the choices that I make. And my confidence is also to have my children as disciples that I can go to and even ask for their advice. So that I'm not on a pedestal like mummies all the way up here and we're only little. I can go to them and say, hey, listen, I've made this video, but I'm not sure about it. What do you think? I empower confidence in them by making them understand that their contribution, their thoughts, their opinion, their attitudes, their value, they know enough to even be a support and a guide for mum. So right now at this age, they've got the power to believe in themselves. But most of all, it's about trying new things. Confidence is about me showing up to try new things, because at their age, this is their experimental phase to try things. And kids sometimes block themselves in, even with food. I don't like this. I don't want to go there. I don't like that. I'm opening my children to say, try it first and then decide if you like it or don't like it.
Ooh, I love that. You're what you say about confidence and the self-worth. Like, how many of us talk about self-worth? And I think is so valuable to let our kids know, like, they are worthy of all the things. And it starts from young. Like, imagine if we just tell them now that, dude, you're worthy. You're worthy of it. Try it. Go for it. You know, like, just go for it. If it doesn't work out, try again. And you're still
Absolutely.
worthy. If you fail, you're still worthy. So I really love that. Yeah.
So now tell me about what confidence means for you, Rosie, and how you're embodying it for your children.
Yeah. Very, very great questions. To me, confidence means being able to take action on what you do. I don't know. I guess to me is confidence. I'm going to go back into like motherhood as being a mom. Confidence is going in the kitchen, making meals, right? The meals that I make, sometimes I try new recipes. It doesn't always work out. When I try new recipes, sometimes sometimes dinner is like, it's all right. I won't make it again, you know? And it's just being in confidence in the kitchen of making, I don't know, I made thousands of meals already. But showing up and being confident in the kitchen of, I don't even know where I'm going right now. Just going and trying it and fucking it up, but saying I'm still worthy. I still can cook, but not this recipe, or it didn't work out. But just keep trying and doing it again and again, showing up again. Don't be, because you messed up a recipe that you're not a good cook. No, just try it again, do it again. But just letting our kids know that, hey, when you were first learning to cook an egg, everybody likes their eggs all different. You cook it the way you like it, right? Sometimes if you make an egg and your sister's like, oh, I don't like it like this, it's okay. So what I'm coming back to is that I guess the confidence is them seeing you doing, doing new things and not be and sucking at it at first, but keep on trying.
Beautiful, Rosie. And also what I like about the analogy of food is that I never follow any recipe to the T, Rosie. And it might look like I've messed it up based on the original recipe, but I've taken it on another level. I like to feel like I upgrade the recipe because I'm very bad at following recipes to the T. I always think, especially like my husband's Italian, right? And they might make a sauce. And I think, well, if my grandmother got that recipe or my mother got that recipe, she might add a bit of garlic or ginger or chili. And in the end, you create something new that wasn't part of the original recipe, but it's a new palette, it's a new flavor. So I think it's having the confidence to get a roadmap or a pathway, but crafting your own along the way.
Yes. And it's so funny because what comes in mind is like, everybody makes spaghetti differently. If you go to an Asian household and you ask them, what do you put in your spaghetti? Some of them would be like, oh, I put oyster sauce, fish sauce. And see somebody else like, what the, like, oh,
Yeah.
But if you go to, your household, you'd be like, I put garlic, chili, ginger, like, I don't know. It's just, we all have our touch of like our little spices that we like that we put in.
We're all unique. Our taste buds are completely unique. What I think, wow, that's delicious. Like, for example, I'm a Ghanaian and we have a lot of fish-based paste in all of our cooking. Like, even if you're making a chicken soup, they might put a paste of prawn paste in there. And it sounds crazy to an English palate, but what does the prawn do? It just it just wakes up the chicken in a different way, So
Yeah.
I get it completely. So, Rosie, tell me about your childhood, and were you a confident child?
I felt confident as a child. Yes. Just because I was the youngest girl and I grew up with 3 older brothers. And you had to be confident being raised with, 3 older brothers. Like they toughened me up quick. So, and I guess just having a household where our parents encourage us to try new things, it was a safe space for us to just be you.
That's wonderful. You couldn't ask for more than that. I also grew up in a household full of brothers. I've got 5 brothers and I'm the only girl amongst 6 siblings. So I know what my brothers put me through to make me tough. Tell me some of the things that your brothers will do with you. For example, and up till today, Rosie, no word of a lie, when we meet for Christmas, Easter, after the big meal, we'll have like press up challenges.
I love
and I
that.
always make sure I have to be either as strong or slightly stronger than them. Okay. Or we'll do plank challenges or we'll do burpee challenges, through our childhood. And it's so funny because obviously we're nearing our 50s and we still do it. What are some of the fun things that you were doing with your brothers that helped you, tap into your strength?
Ooh, that is a very great question. You know what it is? It's creativity. My brothers are very creative. So I grew up in a household where, my oldest brother had the old VHS like camcorders.
Oh, right. Fun.
And he would be the cameraman. And my brothers would be they're the actors. And so we will make home video skits. And one time the whole neighborhood kids came over and they made a video, like a home video of just like some random, video. But I remember seeing them be creative and just play in this environment where I begged my brother, I was like, I want to be in your video. Like, please let me be in your video, And they finally said yes to me one time. And they said, you have 2 parts. Get up and push play on the cassette tapes back in the days, right? So my brothers were playing zombies. They're like ninja zombies back in 1989 or 1990 or something. I forgot. Back in the days.
Michael Jackson's Thriller days.
Yeah. So they were ninja zombies and they said, okay, and my parents weren't home. So nobody was home. It was just us kids. So we played. My older brother got the camcorder. My brothers played 2 zombie ninjas fighting each other. And they said, okay, all you gotta do is walk, push play. And when I got up and pushed play, you know what came on? What song came on? Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible.
I wasn't expecting that.
So I went to go push play, and then my role was to go back and lay down and sleep. And my brother came and tried to choke me. And all I had to do was just scream, right? So I screamed, ah! Then I started laughing. So my brother had to slap me to kill me off. So that was the only part I had. And I messed it up too, because I laughed at the end. There was only one take, and that was it.
And they didn't put you back in any feature films after that?
Background. I was the extras.
Okay, well, look, that was a fantastic training in the power of being seen, right? One of human beings' biggest fear is to be seen. To be seen either being yourself, to be seen playing a character, just to be seen either on screen or in at school, to be the one that stands up and put your hand up. It's natural. You don't need to teach people that fear. More people have that fear than not, right? What did that what did that being brought up in a family of creatives who were videoing and making movies at such a young age, even casting the neighborhood kids and making everybody feel seen, and you even putting your hand up to play a part. What did that teach you about the importance of being seen today?
Oh, it's having the courage. Like, a part of you knows that there's more that you want, but do you have the courage to actually like raise your hand, like, hey, I want to give this a try? My first acting gig, I freaking sucked. But it's those learning parts that comes along with it. If you have the courage within you that you want to do something, is go for it. Give it a try. Because you don't know that in those moments of following whatever excitement that you have, there's something else that's going to be coming along with it that you have no idea, a new opportunity or something. But to me, it's like, you have to give it a try.
Give it a try. Great message. So, Rosie, from the place of give it a try, motherhood, we're constantly trying new things, right? Motherhood really is a beautiful journey, a beautiful school, right? The school of confidence comes from motherhood, I would say, for me, because you always have to try new things. You get a brand new baby. This baby is yours, but isn't yours yet because you don't know each other. And you have to be guided by your intuition and your baby to solve the problem. Did they like being held like this? Did they like being put on a shoulder? Which breast is better for them? Like, there's so much things of trying new things and building your confidence, because you win when you try new things. You find the solution. And you help mothers who are stuck, right? Either they're stuck in their mind, they're stuck in their physical environment. They want to be able to be seen and take the next level, but it's hard. What is the first step into your practice? And how do you support women to go from a place of stuck to moving and being creative?
The first step is really the awareness, right? Being a mother is having a mirror. Being a mother is learning how to raise yourself first. You cannot change the child because a child came in here whole, divine. It's actually a reflection of you. So it's learning to come back to what stuff is bringing up for you or coming up for you when your daughter talks back to you. When your daughter is crying so much and you don't know what to do. Like, what is it? It's coming back to you. You know, instead of what's wrong with you? Let's turn it back. What's wrong with what's going on within you? What is the turmoil that's causing you the emotions and the feeling of like of uneasy? Let's come back and reparent ourselves. Instead of looking outside for what's wrong out here, let's look within. What's keeping you up at night? What are you thinking about at night that's keeping you stressed or worried? What is that concern that you think about when you wake up in the middle of the night, like, oh, the stress, the worry? What is that? Or maybe it's something that happened in the past that you still have nightmares of. Let's come back to that. Can we give a space to a space for that? Can we look more deeper within ourselves? The first step is the awareness of what's going on within you. And having kids really helps you evolve if you're willing to see it that way.
That's really valuable, Rosie. They say that when you name it, you can tame it, right? There's a devil inside of all of us, but when you can name it, you can tame it. And it's great that you bring the awareness back to ourselves. It's most of the time, growth and personal development is an inside job. Sometimes it might look like it's my outer world that is stopping me, but the blocks are also internal. So it's a good place to start. Can you think of, on your motherhood journey, a time, obviously you've done a lot of work now and you're in flow and you're in business and you're supporting other people, but can you think of a time within yourself before you knew that it was an inside job where you felt stuck? Like either knowing the right next move for yourself. I'm not talking about the actual job of being a mum, but a mum who's coming back to herself. And obviously we're so lucky to be part of this beautiful club called Motherhood. But then once you achieve that, maybe there's something else that you wanted to do before you were a practitioner or a coach. What was it like feeling stuck? And what were some of the pain points that were coming up for you?
Great question. Great question. Ooh. I guess for me, when we say stuck is when I didn't know the reason why I am here on this earth. Like I knew like there was more of me, but I didn't know what, how, when, where to navigate to. Being stuck is like a part of you feels like you want to get to this place of like freedom that you can see, but you don't know how to take, what steps to take. I don't know if I'm getting to your question or not. The answers to this, but that's a really great question. I guess for me, when I think about that, it just comes to what is it that I want to do? Like if money wasn't an issue and I can do anything, what is that? And that was the question that I really had to ask myself. If money wasn't a problem, what would you do? What would you be? Who would you be? And that answer is within you. You have the answers. But are you willing enough to be still and have that quiet time to look within yourself? Because originally, I don't think any one of us is actually like stuck. But when we say we're stuck, our mind thinks that we are stuck. But how can we reframe that and say, what is it within you that you are willing to be, you're willing to be open to receive? What is it within you that is calling you out? You know it deep down, you know what you want to do. And if you don't, that feeling comes up again and again and again. But it's for you to really find the answers within you.
I'm just percolating on your reflections there. I think a lot of women that we both serve have their different versions of stuck. Okay. Some it's essentially a limiting beliefs. Like you said, if money wasn't an object, where would you go? Who would you become? What would you try? but it could be if you felt it wasn't because you're too old or too young or too fat or too short or whatever, fill in the blanks. It's really important to be able to go in the mind, remove the limiting belief out the way. Not that it is deleted completely, but just put it aside for a second and have a moment to reflect on what life looks like if I took a different belief. Because everything starts with a belief, isn't it, Rosie?
Yeah.
Until your mind can believe it, you can never change anything. So if you could believe, what would life look like a year from now if you adopted some other thoughts? Okay, so tell us a bit more about your work. Where do most of your clients come from?
Actually, my client, when I host a group breathwork session, it ranges from 18-year-old to 70-year-olds. Is anybody willing to work on themselves? Is anybody that's willing to explore more depths within them?
Yes.
And it's open to everyone because you don't need to know how to do breath work. But it's just, are you willing to sit down and see yourself? Because a lot of people, when they hear about this work, they are afraid of themselves. Why? What's so scary?
They're afraid of themselves or their past?
Both.
Yeah.
They're afraid of what is going to come out of them. Some people are afraid that they cannot handle what comes out. Some people are afraid of the pain that was caused back then. Some people are just trying to erase it, but the pain and the emotional is still stuck in the body because our body keeps score of everything. And if you don't give your body the space and time to feel whatever's coming up, the pain, the hurt, it stays within us.
So that pain that people can erase from their mind, but is still trapped in the body. What is trauma then, Rosie? What is trauma? When people talk about they've got past trauma or they've got trauma in the body, what is trauma?
Well, I don't know the definition of trauma, but trauma is an imprint of what was left from the experience. It is the pain that, or the imprint that was left within you.
Yeah. And that stays in you until you go to work on it.
Yes, that stays within you until you meet it, until you give it space to release on the emotional level.
And so trauma looks different in different people. Does that mean the trauma also heals in different timeline? Like for somebody, their trauma might go away in a 3 months program. Somebody, the trauma might go away in a year. Does trauma evaporate from people who've got it trapped in their body at different times?
I'm not sure. Everyone is all different. The word trauma has been used and is like, instead of trauma, I like to use it as the word imprint. It's an imprint that's been left behind. It's an imprint that affects us. Because everybody there's little different levels of trauma, like little T trauma, big T trauma. And all of us experience it different. And also the word trauma is more used now in this modern time. Because when I was younger, we never used the word trauma. That wasn't in our vocabulary. Because when my dad was shot and killed when I was 7 years old, I didn't know that was trauma that I had until I went to therapy and they're like, Rose, what you been through, that's trauma. I'm like, oh, it was.
That's so interesting you say that, Rosie. And I wonder, because in my culture, as you know, I'm originally from Ghana, and there's certain vocabularies that we don't have to describe a condition.
Yeah.
The English language has so many expressions of the various emotions. I mean, we literally have the basics: anger, sadness, you know, trauma doesn't exist. So, in your culture, in your language, does the word trauma exist?
I'm sure it does, but we don't. I don't ever hear old folks talking about the word trauma.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
my question to you then is, what do you think? And maybe it's not your expertise, but just as a cultural difference exploration, can you feel something that the word doesn't exist in your language?
Yeah.
You can.
Hold on. Say
Okay.
it again. Say it again. I'm sorry. I'm like distracted
So
because my husband's. Can
he's
you hear
waving.
him or no?
No, not at all.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good.
Can a person feel a condition like an experience or an imprint, let's say, because that's the word you use? Can somebody experience an imprint that their language, their own native language or any spoken language doesn't describe it?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I think so too.
Yeah.
You can't name it, but there's a feeling inside that you can't give the words to, and that's even more frustrating, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just like the experience that we have. Like you experience this thing, but it's like it's hard to
Put it into
express it
words.
in words and like have a definition for it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so can you explain what breath work is and how it works?
Hey, my husband he's on a call and it's on speaker. So, what was the question? It was
Okay, actually, I'll ask you a different question. What are some of the benefits of breath work, especially for mothers?
benefits of breath work for mothers. It's learning to, calm our nervous system, right? Especially we have kids. Sometimes we get all riled up of like, I have to do this, do that. Oh, the kid's here, one's crying. And sometimes we get a little frustrated and like emotional and like it's too much for us.
Mm.
So it's learning to like just take a couple minutes to ourselves. Maybe when you're going to go pee and you will see little baby hands underneath trying to get your attention, it's just sit there to like go back to your breath. Go back home and anchor in. Meaning take a couple few deep breaths. Just coming back and just slowing your breath down. Because us as mothers, we're gonna have to learn how to regulate our own nervous system so our kids can learn to regulate their own system. If they see us in chaos and stress and overwhelm, what do we think that we're going to be giving off to them? It took me a while too, because it's like in order to be there for our kids, to be in the right mindset, is come back to your breath. Simple as that, is just take a couple deep breaths.
Isn't it funny how sometimes we're looking for answers, we're expecting it to be rocket science, you know? And you describe that back to home, back to basics, back to the breath. And the minute we're born, we're breathing, right? We check if a baby's alive by smacking its ass and making sure that it's breathing. But you're talking about a certain way of breathing that is a learnt way and not the way we're breathing on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. So can you just demonstrate? You're talking about come back to your breath. Like, what would you do in your body to calm yourself down? What does that look like?
What it looks like is first having awareness that there's some stress, anxiety, overwhelm that's happening within you. Mm-hmm. First is to notice what's going on within you. Because if you are not aware of what's going on within you, you keep going with whatever is within you. But if you can just notice, oh, stop. I'm getting anxiety from all the stuff that's going on within me, going on around me. Is to stop and just come back to your breath. What was the question, Amma? Sorry.
I was asking you to demonstrate. So the awareness is important. It's good that you reaffirm that again. That's great. But once they've got the awareness that, okay, I need to come back to the breath.
Yeah.
What I know that you have some breathing techniques and breathing exercises. Like let's take some breaths together. 3 deep breaths or 4 deep breaths, in for 4, with a count of 4, out with a count of 8. Like, what does that look like for somebody who's just...
So one it is called the 4-7-8 breath. And the 4-7-8 breath is inhaling for 4 seconds. Inhale. Let's demonstrate now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a deep breath for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. We're gonna hold for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and exhale for 8. Through your mouth, coming out from the belly. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do it one more time. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through the mouth. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you can just remember the 4-7-8 breath, you do 3 of them and see how you feel afterwards. Slow your breath down.
That's lovely, Rosie. I actually feel my body has changed. There's a calmer, not that I was tense at all, but I still feel the benefit of that quick breathing. So it's a great practice and very simple for any mother to try. So how can mothers build confidence and maintain their confidence in the face of everyday challenges, Rosie? In your 17 years of motherhood experience, if you were speaking to your younger self, what would you say to her about maintaining the importance of maintaining your confidence as she goes through the challenges of life?
Oh, that is a great question. Oh, can you give me some examples, Amma?
No, you're a mom. You've been a mom for 17 years.
Okay. Ask me that question again.
So, as a mom, one of the most important skills you have is being a caregiver to your children. And we've spoken about that, showing up for the kids, being an example for the kids, modeling for the kids, essentially comes down to confidence. It takes confidence to be able to try new things. It takes confidence to be able to fail publicly or with your family. It takes confidence to let go of perfectionism, right? How can mothers maintain the confidence in the face of the everyday challenges that comes up in parenthood?
How can mothers
maintain their confidence?
Maintain their confidence.
Or how have you maintained your confidence?
That's a great question. I know I'm trying to figure that out. Shit. Confidence.
Okay, why you have a think about
I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know.
Why you have a think about it, maybe if I share,
yes,
it might trigger something in you. For me, it helps me a lot to maintain my confidence by, first of all, creating time to intentionally do things that make me stronger.
Okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
I work out without fail. Even if I don't go to the gym, I told you I'll do some push-ups at home, I'll do some sit-ups at home, because there's something about the mental discipline of sticking to my routine and doing something hard and resetting my day with fitness that just energizes me. It helps me to build confidence. I also prioritize my self-care in terms of putting something nourishing in my brain. I love podcasts now. I love to go in some rabbit hole about parenting, confidence, anything, sometimes even religious stuff. I really enjoy listening to like people like Joyce Meyer, you know, different scriptures, you know, different biblical stuff. And then I love music as well. Music helps me to tap into my joy, you know. I get a lot of strength from feeling happy. Like I'm very conscious about what I take in, you know, because this is what makes me strong. And then I'm a foodie, you know, I'm a lover of food, Rosie. So I love to cook. I love to nourish my body with nutritional stuff that makes me feel good. Today I made a smoothie with beetroot, squeeze some lemon, fresh lemon, ginger, turmeric, and I just blitzed it in the blender. And as soon as I took it in, it was like, this is hot, spicy, but sweet. And I put some honey as well. And it just made me feel really good. It made me feel, and I think maintaining my energy is where my confidence comes from. My energy going out, how I'm using my energy going out, and how whatever's depleting my energy. So in that, I've learned to create boundaries. You know, I've learned to be able to say no. I've learned to be able to not accept any and every invitation that comes up to me. I've learned to say yes to myself, and it's okay to reserve an hour to literally power up. If you think of, I think of myself as a battery. I need energy to do everything that I need to do, from taking care of the kids to being ahead of the school activities to servicing my clients. I need energy. And if I'm not powered right, I have nothing to give to anybody else. So it's about getting very intentional, very conscious about where does my strength come from? Where does my depletion goes out? And being a fierce advisor for both sides, put in loads of energy, block the things that depletes me. And I feel this is how I maintain my confidence.
I love that. I love that. I love that, you know, you taking care of yourself, having time out to do things, you know, by eating uh nutritious food, making a smoothie, because I really believe that uh earth has everything for us to heal. And you
Yes.
making the beet turmeric smoothie, and it's spicy and sweet, and the honey is like, but once you drink that, it's just like, ooh, like you feel good.
I feel cleansed.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
I also have to say, though, it helps a lot being in an incredibly loving relationship and making time for my husband and I, because I remember before I got married, we had marriage counseling sessions, and they were talking to us about the importance of prioritizing each other even before the kids. I've been married 20 years in July, and at the time, it sounded counterintuitive. Like, what? The kids come first. Because in my culture, the kids always come first. This is what I saw modeled. But actually, after 20 years of being an experiment of that theory, I think couples are so much more strong today to deal with the day-to-day challenges of parenting. We're talking about motherhood, but I'll bring in the men. Parenting, when they are connected, when they are in tune, when they are aligned, because you know how kids can play you against each other, you know,
Yeah.
when there isn't consistency in parenting. You know, it's very important for me that we're aligned as a couple, but we're also aligned in our consistency and our values. So I also think a lot of maintaining my confidence and power and strength for motherhood is how much I invest into my marital relationship and the beauty and the love that pours out onto the children.
I love that, because without the healthy relationship, it's hard to, you know, if you're struggling with your relationship with your husband, it's hard to, is you're in the same home with your kids.
Yes.
Kids, they know, they can see it, they can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what brought to mind was that, you know, um, relationship, it's hard, but it takes work. It takes two people to say, I'm not giving up on you. Like, we're
Mm.
going to try to make this work. And
Definitely.
and now it's like this doing the little simplest things. I started this like about, I don't know, maybe a year ago, is when my husband comes home from work. I try my best to try to greet him every day, something different every day. There's days where I kind of forget and then I don't do it. But then when I remember, like, oh, some kind of greeting, maybe he comes in, I do a little dance, like the silly dance, or I don't know. My creativity on greeting him is not as I could do better. But just to have that knowledge of like
I love that.
when he comes home, like some kind of greeting, so he just acknowledged like, oh, you're home, like just something new and different every day, which is doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
But I try to just imagine when you're coming home from a long day of work, getting greeted by your wife versus she's just on her phone, looking at her phone, and he comes in and just, she's just staring off at her phone versus just taking that time off and just greeting him with a hug, a kiss, whatever it is,
Yes.
with flowers, with
With flowers.
home cut flowers from the garden.
That's so sweet. Okay, you're giving me some ideas. I didn't think about that. You're absolutely right. We're all trying to be seen, heard, loved, and appreciated. And even we're so concentrated on maybe our children, but our men are also once upon a time little boys that want to be welcomed with all that open arms and love, and time stops for them to feel worthy and deserving. So I love that. I'll borrow that from you, Rosie. Of course, I always greet him, but not in a dance. I might learn something new and show you.
Have a camera hidden and record it and just see his reaction. He's like, what's going on with you? Like, what's going on? Did I miss something?
I
No.
learned this from Rosie. Okay, well that's beautiful. That's something nice you're modeling for your children. So Rosie, I also had a question, right? Does breath work play a role in overcoming self-doubt and negative self-talk?
Yeah. Because if you so breath work is going to help you bypass the thinking mind and into the body. And it's going to go into a layer deeper of like, what is it? What am I scared of? What am I scared of? Like other people's opinion? But it's for you to really embody and get the answers for yourself. So you can be more empowered to overcome it. It's easy for me to tell you what to do, but it's for you to really do the work within yourself, in yourself.
Can you give us some examples of some mothers that you've worked with and how this has played out for them, like using breath work to overcome self-doubt and negative self-talk?
Yeah. So sometimes when you do breath work, we don't really say, I say, come in with an open mind, come in with an open heart. Don't have like a specific subject that you want to overcome, because sometimes you may be stressed or worried or dealing with something, but there might be something deeper that is blocking you. So it's learning from, because you have the answers. So it's learning to go within yourself, get out of the thinking mind and go into the body. And sometimes breath work is something open up. It's whatever that you're dealing with is going to be open for you to see. So there is no way to do this. It's whatever is coming up for you at that moment. And it's coming up for you to work with it. But to me, is more of giving you the tools and guidance to help you look within so you can overcome that. How much is so more empowering when you find the answer. So it's learning to get the answers from within you. And when you get that answer, you are the one that's going to make that change. Because that all starts with you. I can't make you change. I can help guide you, but it's up to you to make that change. And the change starts within.
That's so beautiful, Rosie, because basically what I heard is about, first of all, surrendering, coming with no expectations and surrendering. Many years ago, there was a movie called Inner Space. Do you remember it? With Kevin Spacey, I think, and Meg Ryan. It was a movie about these, they're like astronauts, but the journey was not to space, it was inner space. So they made some tiny little robot that somebody swallows, and it was an adventure inwards. And in the body, discovering new parts of this human from inside, like they traveled inside. And basically the way you describe breathwork brought that up for me, about a journey inside, and come with no expectations, and you'd be surprised what you find. And like coaching, yes, we support and guide the client, but there's something really rich about when you find the answer for yourself than when somebody tells you. We're very impatient as human beings. We're so used to a lot of automation and fast moving and fast dinners and fast everything. But a lot of the richness in life, in wisdom, in strength, in muscle, it isn't overnight. It takes time to build. And I guess that's exactly what you're saying about breathwork. So I want to ask you, just to finish off, can revisiting positive childhood experiences empower us as mothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the most positive, what is one of your most positive child experience that's empowered you as a mom?
Ooh, that's a great question. Now I'm going to have to think about going back to childhood. And I think the most empowering thing that I remember in my childhood was seeing my mom happy, was seeing my mom doing the things that made her be her. It's seeing her be, going to the grocery store with her and her cracking jokes in the whole store. Well, because we're in a Cambodian community. So you go to a Cambodian stores, they're all Cambodians. So is going in there and just cracking jokes and everybody stopping what they're doing at the grocery store and just listening to her tell a story and just crack up. And it's seeing my mom cry, grieve my father's death. It's seeing her through all of life, all the experience in her life that she did not try to hide from us. It's seeing her overcome those challenges of, can she pay rent this month? What does she has to do raising, being a single mom without my dad being around. So it's seeing her forgive the guy that killed my father, seeing her have no resentment or anger against someone else. She is the one that taught me how to forgive. It's through her example. So growing up in childhood, my mom, she is what made me confidence. Seeing her through everything in life, seeing her when people talk shit about her. And I'm hearing it, I'm like, my mom's not like that. That's what they think of her. And how she overcame that, but not talking shit about them, and just letting them know, I'm doing my own thing. Let them say whatever. So when it comes down to mothers, it's us. It's you. We are the role models. We are the leaders. Can we be sad and let our kids know that we're sad and how we're going to overcome this, that this is the process of life? How can we be you, all authentic vulnerability, you? Because you are the model for our kids. Yeah.
Rosie, you're a wonderful mother, a beautiful example of a woman, the strength, the courage. It's not all been rosy, as your name suggests, but you are blossoming into somebody that I admire and respect so much. And I'm so happy you had it modeled for you as well from your mother, and that your children can learn to see that a rose can have thorns and be equally beautiful. You know, you can be strong and vulnerable at the same time. Thank you so much for all your wisdom, all your experiences, your willingness to share. Thank you for this time spent here together. And if anybody wants to book a breathwork session with you, what does it look like? Where do they go?
You can reach me on IG, the Rosie Rose. I also have a podcast, the Rosie Rose podcast on Spotify and Apple, or you can reach me on YouTube. There's a link in my bio to do a breathwork session. And it's like an hour and a half, and you go at your own pace. And I'm there to guide you and to be there for you.
I didn't know anything about breathwork. I'd heard about it before, but I didn't really know how powerful it was until you brought it into my life. And guys, if you're just questioning what is this breathwork thing, it's hard to describe it, but it's a tool that helps you to anchor in your greatest power and strength. As mothers, we're always talking about how much energy it takes to be a mom, to show up as your best self. What does that look like? Your best self is sometimes entangled in many issues that doesn't even bother you today, but it's from the past, it's from different points in your timeline, but it's meeting you where you are in your motherhood journey. And if you've never tried it, Rosie offers a complimentary discovery call, right? Still, Rosie?
Yes.
You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. So please try it, give it a go. Come, like she said, with no expectations, be willing to surrender and see how you can tap into your inner strength, because we all need more strength. The world is constantly changing, adding more battles and layers. But you know what? We're built for it. We can do it. But we definitely need to be very intentional about pursuing tools and resources at our fingertips that makes us our most wonderful version, because the kids need to see us at a, you know, as Rosie described about her mum, doing the whole ups and downs of life, but with grace and with vulnerability and with strength and with fragility as feminine, and in your feminine energy. You know, you can glow through all seasons of it, but you're built for everything that comes at you as a mother, as a woman, as a human on this planet. And you just got to get very intentional about grabbing onto those tools that make it easier to navigate this world. Rosie, I love you. I'm so happy we spent this time together. Thank you so much, everybody who joined us and spent time with us. Your time means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it, you being here. If you feel like this video will benefit anybody, please do share. And if you're not already doing so, kindly follow Rosie Rose. She drops bombs like this all the time on her channel, and she interviews different people on very dynamic topics, so you will enjoy it equally. Thank you, my friend Rosie, and thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye.
See you. Bye. Bye.